Every single year, seniors across America leave billions of dollars in benefits sitting unclaimed. Money they fully qualify for, money that is theirs, just waiting for someone to fill out one form. And it is not because they do not need it. It is because nobody ever told them the program existed. There are at least 6 of these hiding in plain sight right now, and some of them can add hundreds of dollars a month to a fixed income. So here are the exact programs, who qualifies, and the one move to actually claim each one, because the government is not going to mail any of this out on its own. Here's how this goes. 6 programs, each with a real dollar figure and a real way to apply. Stay to the end because one of them can cap the cost of every prescription at under $13, and it is one of the most underused benefits in the entire country. Quick one before the list, and every comment gets read. Has anyone here ever discovered a benefit years too late and thought, why did no one tell me? Type yes below because that is exactly the regret this video is trying to prevent. Program number 1, the Medicare Savings Program. This is the one that pays the Medicare Part B premium directly. In 2026, that standard Part B premium is $202.90 a month, and it normally gets pulled straight out of the Social Security check before it ever arrives. A Medicare Savings Program can pay that entire premium, which means that $200 a month stays in the check instead of leaving it. That is roughly $2,400 a year back in someone's pocket. Who qualifies? It runs on income and a modest amount of savings. As a rough guide for 2026, one of these programs reaches monthly income up to about $1,350 for a single person, and another reaches up to about $1,616, with somewhat higher limits for a married couple, and the limits are more generous in some states. And there is a bonus most people miss. The top level of this program, for the lowest incomes, does not just pay the premium. It can also cover Medicare deductibles and copays, wiping out a big chunk of out-of-pocket medical cost on top of the premium. Take Harold, 69, living on about $1,300 a month, who had no idea he qualified. Once enrolled, that $200 stopped leaving his check, and his doctor visit copays dropped too, adding up to nearly $3,000 a year he had been quietly losing. The move. Contact the state Medicaid office or call Social Security and ask specifically about the Medicare Savings Program. And the next one is even bigger for anyone who takes regular medication. Program number 2, and this is the giant that almost nobody uses. It is called Extra Help, also known as the Part D Low-Income Subsidy. This program helps cover prescription drug costs, the premiums, the deductibles, and the copays. And here is the number that stops people cold. With Extra Help in 2026, the cost of each covered prescription is capped at no more than $12.65. Think about that. Someone paying $80, $100, $200 for a medication could drop to under $13 a fill. For a senior on several prescriptions, that is life-changing money every single month. Anyone who already has Medicaid or SSI gets Extra Help automatically, but millions who would qualify have never applied. Eligibility reaches incomes up to 1.5 times the federal poverty level, with savings limits around $16,590 for a single person and $33,100 for a married couple. The move is easy. Apply anytime with the Social Security form SSA 1020, and the fastest way is online at ssa.gov or by calling 1-800-772-1213. Picture Ruth, 71, splitting pills in half to make her heart medication last the month. She qualified for Extra Help for 3 years and never knew. The day she applied, her monthly drug bill went from over $200 to under $40. That is the power of one form. And the next program is one most seniors are convinced does not apply to them. Program number 3, SNAP, the food assistance program most people still call food stamps. Here is the shocking part. Roughly 9 million older adults who qualify for SNAP are not enrolled. Only about 1/3 of eligible seniors actually claim it, compared with more than 8 in 10 of everyone else who qualifies. Why the gap? Pride, mostly. The feeling that this is for someone else, plus a belief that the benefit would be too small to bother. But for a senior on a tight fixed income, even an extra $100 a month for groceries is real breathing room. And here's a key detail that removes a common worry. Adults age 60 and older are completely exempt from any SNAP work requirements. No job training, no hoops. Consider Frank and Doris, both in their 70s, who assumed they earned a little too much to bother applying. They almost skipped it. When they finally sat down with a local benefits counselor, they qualified for well over $100 a month in food help, money that freed up their Social Security for the electric bill and the prescriptions. The move? Apply through the state's benefits agency, or get free help from a local area agency on aging or the National Council on Aging's BenefitsCheckUp tool, which screens for dozens of programs at once. And do not self-reject before applying, because the income rules for seniors often allow deductions for medical costs that let people in who assumed they earned too much. This is not charity. It is a benefit funded by a lifetime of taxes, and the next one quietly overcharges people who did nothing wrong. Program number 4, the form called SSA 44 for lowering a Medicare surcharge. Higher earners pay an extra charge on top of that $202 Part B premium called IRMAA, and Social Security sets it using income from 2 years earlier. So someone who just retired or lost a spouse or had a big one-time income event 2 years ago may be paying a surcharge based on money they no longer make. The SSA 44 form asks Social Security to use the newer, lower income instead, and it can cut that surcharge back down or erase it entirely. For a couple both on Medicare, that can be a few $100s a month that stops leaking out. Picture a couple, Jim and Carol, who both retired last year. Their income 2 years ago, while Jim was still pulling a full salary, was high enough to trigger the surcharge, so Medicare is now charging them extra based on a paycheck that no longer exists. One SSA 44 form with a copy of the retirement letter, and that surcharge comes off. The move. File Form SSA 44 with proof of the income change, whether that is a retirement, a work stoppage, or the death of a spouse. Almost nobody knows this form exists, and that is exactly why the surcharge keeps getting overpaid, month after month, by people who have every right to stop it. And the next one is the one that breaks hearts, because it is often left completely unclaimed. Program number 5, the survivor benefit. When a spouse passes away, the surviving husband or wife can receive a survivor benefit worth between 71.5% and 100% of what the late spouse was getting. But here's the trap. Social Security does not always automatically move a person to the higher amount, and survivor benefits cannot even be started online. So a widow collecting her own smaller check may have no idea a larger survivor check is available. Take Eleanor, whose late husband's benefit was several $100s higher than her own. She collected her own smaller amount for 2 years before anyone compared them. The move. Anyone widowed should call 1-800-772-1213 and ask directly for a comparison of both benefits and to be paid the larger one. And the last one is hiding in the mailbox every year in the form of a property tax bill. Program number 6, Senior Property Tax Relief. Most states offer some form of break for older homeowners, an exemption that shaves money off the bill, a freeze that locks the assessment so it stops climbing, or a credit for those on limited income. The rules and the amounts vary a lot from state to state and even county to county, so there is no single number here, but for many seniors it is hundreds of dollars a year, sometimes far more, that never gets claimed simply because no one applies. In some states, a senior freeze locks the home's taxable value in place, so even as property values climb year after year, the tax bill stops rising, which over a long retirement can save many thousands of dollars. In others, a flat exemption simply knocks a fixed amount off the assessed value. The catch is almost always the same. It has to be applied for, and often refiled, and the assessor does not chase anyone down to offer it. The move? Call the county assessor's office or check the state tax website and ask specifically about senior property tax exemptions, freezes, and circuit breaker credits. It is often a short form filed once. Now the honest part, because none of these is free money for everyone. Most of them, the Medicare Savings Program, Extra Help, SNAP, run on income and savings limits, so higher income households will not qualify for those, and that is fine. The survivor benefit depends on a spouse's record, and the property tax break depends on the state. The point of this video is not to promise a jackpot. It is to make sure that the seniors who genuinely qualify, and there are millions of them, stop leaving the money on the table out of pride or simply not knowing. And it is worth naming why this keeps happening. Not one of these programs sends a friendly letter announcing that a senior qualifies and the money is waiting. The system waits for an application. No form, no benefit. That is the whole reason billions go unclaimed every year. Not because people are not eligible, but because eligibility does nothing until someone applies. The paperwork is the lock and the application is the key. Now the comment worth reading. 2 things always come up. Some people say they would never take a government benefit. It feels like a handout. Others say these are earned benefits paid for by a lifetime of work and taxes, and refusing them helps no one. Type pride or earned and say why, because a lot of seniors watching are quietly wrestling with that exact feeling, and hearing from real people helps more than any lecture. 3 things to do this week. First, use one free screening tool, the National Council on Aging's BenefitsCheckUp at BenefitsCheckUp.org, which checks eligibility for dozens of these programs at once in a few minutes. Second, For anyone on Medicare with tight income, apply for extra help online at ssa.gov because that drug cap alone is worth the effort. Third, anyone widowed should call 1-800-772-1213 and ask for a survivor benefit comparison. And share this with one senior who is too proud to ask, because the person who needs this most is usually the one who will never bring it up. One last thing, and it matters. This is general information, not financial, tax, or legal advice, and it is not a promise about any specific situation. The people named here are examples used to show how these programs work. The programs, the dollar figures, and the 2026 limits come from Social Security, Medicare, and other official sources, but income rules, resource limits, and state programs differ by situation and location. Before applying or making any decision, confirm the details with Social Security, Medicare, or the state agency directly, and if helpful, a counselor who handles benefits. Check eligibility first. Then, claim what is owed.